What's going on, guys, and welcome to my review of The Creator, a film that has piqued my interest for quite some time now, ever since they started advertising it. I'm a fan of sci-fi action flicks, though a very casual one, still a fan nonetheless. Thank you so much, as always, guys, for clicking here. I really appreciate it. In the not-so-distant future, where war has impacted between humans and the forces of artificial intelligence, an ex-Special Forces agent is sent to hunt down a mysterious weapon. He is then forced with a choice once he discovers what that weapon is. The science fiction genre is one genre I actually do like. Maybe not as hardcore as some out there. I'm more in the casual boat. But still, I enjoy a good science fiction action flick. When this film started making the news, the ads started coming out, the trailers started dropping, it really started piquing my interest. I was thinking to myself, this is definitely something I'll be going to see whenever it comes out. So I was sold on it almost immediately. So I went to see this thing. Being said, let's start off with the positives for The Creator. The one thing I've noticed since this film has come out was how good the special effects and the CGI and the action sequences was all laid out and was presented, and damn, that was not wrong here. It's a beautifully shot movie. For something of a reported budget of $80 million, that's really good. You wouldn't think this movie was made for that. It looked like it was made for like $150 million. And you know, it's a shame how something that's a smaller budget movie could look so good when something like Expendables, which was made for even more money and looks like dog crap. I never really quite grasped that concept, and it's kind of ironic in a way and a little bit embarrassing to have something like The Creator created for something less than something that was created for more money that looks worse. But then you have something like this, which was budgeted for less, that looks better. I don't know, you try to figure that out. The point being, in The Creator, the special effects and the action sequences and the way it was shot and everything that was handled with those scenes alone, it looked amazing. It was pretty mesmerizing. It was very beautifully shot. It was a very beautiful movie to look at. It was very authentic, amazingly well done. And I gotta give it props to the filmmakers for this. Knowing that you have people behind the camera and doing special effects works that knows how to make something look authentic with less money. To that, I praise the hell out of them. These filmmakers, for that reason alone, deserve a standing ovation. It was just very, very mesmerizing to look at, and it just took every fiber of my being not to just shout at the screen praising it the whole entire way through. So I think a lot of other filmmakers should really take a lesson from this film. To make a smaller budget movie, you can still have it done right, but if you make a movie for more, it needs to actually show it. Yeah. John David Washington, who plays our main character, the ex-Special Forces, he was pretty good in this, who is also related to Denzel Washington. So, interesting factoid there. This actually makes my second film of his that I watched. Behind Tenet, who he was also good in, I liked him in The Creator. I thought he was one of those characters that you could kind of relate to, that a lot of people can sort of relate to. He's just one of those characters that you feel for him because a tragedy has befallen him, and you feel for his loss and just the different emotions that he's going through. And he's just one of those characters that in tough situations, he has a way of kind of like not really controlling the situation, but just letting other people see that there's another way. Like, there's this one scene, which I won't get into too much detail, to where this one character was threatening another, and he does something, Washington's character does something that kind of negates that from any further threats to be made. That was an easier, solution. And that's the type of character he is. He's a hero, and he could have very easily said, no, we don't have to do it like this. Just follow me. It's just his motions and his actions that speak louder than words. Like that saying goes, action speaks louder than words. And that's the type of character I think Washington played in this, and he did a really good job at. He just had that certain way about him that I really did like. The apple really doesn't fall far from his father's tree, that's for sure. Like I said, second film in that I've seen this guy in, and he hadn't disappointed me yet. I'm going to try to pronounce his name as much as I can. If I butcher it, I apologize. Madeleine Yuna Voiles, who plays the little girl that he watches over, that he transports, that he goes on the run with. She was excellent in this. She was awesome. She showed that certain depth of emotion and just acting abilities for, I would assume, a 10-year-old. Maybe that's how old she was. Maybe she was a little younger. Had shown. And I'm telling you, this girl has star power. I hope I see her in more stuff in the future. She just had real great potential. She really shined, and especially in the emotion department, and just how she could just cry on cue, and just these really moving scenes that had her in it, that involved her character very heavily, and it just really, moved me to that state as well, what this character was dealing with. Like I said, I think she has great potential, and I hope I see her in more stuff, because I see a star rise. That's for sure. The film was very moving, as I just mentioned with the little girl character. There was a lot of moving moments in this film that really made you think. And yes, it does deal with AI, and that's kind of a big issue in Hollywood, which is why all this strike stuff and strike business was going on in the first place. Which is why, sadly, I don't think this movie is going to do all that well. It's really not doing all that well. It already kind of failed at the box office, but I thought there was a lot of moving moments in the film to where it just really puts you there, and it really puts you in these character situations. Now, in terms of characters themselves, this is kind of a character-driven movie that it really does its job at really making you feel for a lot of the people that are going through different situations, and just the certain type of elements that these people get to, that it just really makes you feel for them. It's just a lot of different things that ropes you in every single time, that it reminds you of how powerful this movie is. How much of an impact I think this movie will, go on to have, hopefully in the distant future, even though it's not doing that well. Not a lot of people are watching it, that's for sure, but hopefully this will kind of, renegade that. Hopefully that'll be negated at some point, because the way that they had played this movie out, and the way that they wrote the script, the way that they handled the characters, and just the different situations, it's really worth it. It was very interesting, and I really did enjoy that aspect. This was a solid, well-made sci-fi thriller. It really is. But that being said, as I move into my mixed, I do feel like it was overhyped. One thing that I noticed that a lot of negative responses to it was that, yes, it was overhyped a little, and it was being called one of the greatest sci-fi films of all time to ever come out, and one of the more original films, that this was an integral piece of originality. Nope, not so much. You got this whole plot line where you have a war between humans and machines. That's straight from Terminator. You got a guy with robotic limbs and AI having emotions, and a future concept, which can also be negated towards Terminator, that's iRobot. And you got a guy protecting this little girl by them going on a road trip and being chased and followed and being hunted. That's Logan. That was the negative side. However, the positive side is when you take something and you make it your own, it just depends on how you do it, and I think director Gareth Edwards, which makes this the second movie that I've seen behind Godzilla, actually did a really good job at putting his own spin on it. I really don't think it's fair the way people has been harping so much on that, because you say that originality is dead in Hollywood. Yeah, that might be partially true, but it just depends on who is fronting the money. Like, you gotta go up to the studio, and when you're pitching an idea, and this is coming from somebody that's not in that business, but I do a lot of research, so I'm not completely lost here, but you pitch an idea to a studio, you've got to throw something in, and it's, unfortunately, this is how it works. This is just the reality of it, that you pitch an idea, and it's got to have elements from other movies, which is why Hollywood gets such a bad rap for not throwing out much original ideas, because sadly most of the time when people do have original ideas, and they do, most of the time studios don't really go for that. So filmmakers try, but in the sense of the creator, you have an idea that you want to take to a studio and you're trying to get your movie sold. That's unfortunately how you need to do it. That's how it works. And that's just the harsh reality of it. But when you take it and make it your own vision and your own spin and take, then that's what counts. And I think director Gareth Edwards did a good enough job on that. He crafted something in a visually constructed way that negates all of that. And that I respect. That I truly do respect. And the only negative I have is, and this is kind of a little bit of a trend, and I remember feeling the same way with Godzilla, but not as much. I did enjoy the creator a lot better than Godzilla, 2014's Godzilla, but I did notice that there was a little bit of a weak element with the story. Yes, there was some moving moments that involved the story. There was some things that happened that did pique my interest, but all in all, I don't really think there was that much there. I do feel like there is room for improvement. As much as I enjoyed the rest of this film for its visual qualities and its character development and action sequences and everything else, I do feel like there was room for improvement with the story. Like I said, there was some impressive moments here and there, but it wasn't enough to captivate me on that high level that I usually expect and that I want to be on every single time when I go see a movie. To sum this all up, it mostly came down to characters, action, and visuals for me. All in all, guys, I really had a good time with this. Despite its lack in the story department, this movie made up for in visuals, character, and emotions. It was a happy accident. So The Creator, what was your thoughts on that? Have you seen it yet? Are you a fan? Is this your favorite sci-fi thriller? Is this something you easily synced to? See what I did there? Or was this not for you? Were you somebody that wasn't that connected? Leave me your comment down below and give me your thoughts. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this. I really do appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. Make sure to click that bell icon so you don't miss a thing. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.